Alright, how's it going everybody? Welcome to the new channel, I guess. So, today we're going to be working on the YZ again. I'm not sure what I'm up to on my old channel, but because this is the new one, starting it fresh I guess. If you want to see the old stuff, go to the old channel. So here it is. About a couple of weeks ago I got a package from Racetech. Now, Dad keeps buying XR400 stuff. It's everywhere. I can't work in this. It's really annoying. But so I got some stiffer fork springs. These are, I believe, 0.3 kilograms per millimeter. So basically what that means is it takes 0.3 kilograms to compress it 1 millimeter. I'm not sure what the stock shock spring rate was, but this is what, God, there's no room. This is what Racetech recommended for me because I'm 85 kgs and this is a tiny little bike. This is the stiffest one they make. So today we're actually going to be putting new fork seals and springs and oil in these conventional YZ forks. So I'm going to, I think I've already put the new spring in this one just for shits and giggles and see if it would fit. So I'm just going to take it back out again and we'll start from scratch. So I read somewhere to loosen this end part. So I've got an Allen key in there. I'm actually just going to move it down a little bit. I'm just going to see if I can crack it on the floor. Alright, so I just chucked it in the vise and as you can see, got that cracked. So we're just going to leave that for now. And we're going to try. And I believe this is the drain plug. Now this might need an impact. We're just going to make sure we get a driver that actually fits. Alright, might strip, might not. See how she goes. Surely, oh, look at that, like butter. I'm going to take this out of the vise and I'm going to drain it. So we're going to put that back in and we're going to attempt to start disassembling this thing. Alright, so when you take apart a fork, you unscrew this, just unscrew it with a rag on top because sometimes they'll shoot out real fast. So when you undo a normal fork, it'll have this sleeve sitting on top of the spring. So I just did this to test it out. Racetech sent me this because these springs are stiffer but slightly shorter than the old ones. So here's the old one. If you compare it to a new one, it's slightly longer. So this other ones are stiffer but shorter. So I need to get a new tube cut to that length. That was the stock one. That's the Racetech one. So I'm just going to put them together. I'll get these machined another day. So it has those. Put those there. It's here. And then it'll have these little like collar thingies sitting on top, which sits in there obviously. So you're going to put that just here. And then you have your spring. This is the Racetech spring. So there's your difference there. Not that much longer, but shorter. But it is shorter. So we'll just put that there for now. So, first order of business, so we need to get this dust cap off. I do believe you can just get a flat blade. Alright, here's our clip. We're going to have to reuse it because you can't really get new parts for these, so we're just going to try and clean this up. And it doesn't get scratched. We're going to do this. What it does, I don't actually know. Oh. Look at that. It's coming out. So, I undid that end part. Now it's come out a lot more. I do believe you can smack it out this way. Look at that! Hey! The fork seal right there. So I'm going to slide that off. Should probably do this in order. So, the fork seal. We have a washer. We have a bush, and then there's another bush that sits at this end. So we're going to slide off fork seal. Slide off the washer. I'm going to slide off the bush.
All sorts of bits of shit. I don't know what that is, look at that.
Right, so what I've done here is got some PVC and cut it up and put it onto the fork leg, and then I'm going to put this clamp around it and tighten it on, and then smack that bush back into the fork leg so it doesn't come out. Right, so what we have here is our seal, which has to go into this little recess, and this, which is hose clamped onto the fork leg, is actually just going to be, I'm going to smack it and hopefully push that bush in. So I'm going to set this up here. As you can see here, I actually probably should have made this a bit longer, and I might have to because this clamp is actually hitting on the lower fork tube, so I'm going to have to revise my design a little. Alright, take two, just moved it up a little bit. Make sure that's seated in there. Nice, as you can see, I might not be able to, but that bush is now right seated in there. Put this here bolt back into the bottom of here. So I'm going to make the little dampening rod inside of the fork leg slide right to the bottom just by shaking it. And I'm going to put this in here. There we go. We'll just snug him up. Now the internet man, who is how I learned to do this off, told me not to tighten it, because if you tighten it, then what actually happens is when you go to undo it, the dampening rod will spin in the fork leg and you just won't be able to get it undone. So he said wrist tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically, wrist tight means you hold the top of the Allen and you just tighten it with your wrist like that. So you hold whatever you can, just tighten it with your wrist. Don't tighten it back here with your arm, with your wrist like that. That's it. That's as tight as it needs to be. And then we have our bush inside the fork leg, and next is this washer. Will go on top of that, so we'll just clean that up a little bit with the rag, just like that. And then we're going to put our washer on. It kind of looks like it's directional, but this top has a bit of a bevel on it, it's a bit smoother. This bottom edge is quite sharp. So I'm going to put the bottom edge down, like that. It's going to sit on there. And that sits down there where the fork seal is going to sit. This is where it's going to get a little tricky, I guess. So we have our fork seal. New one. Make sure it's the same as the old one. Now I do believe it sits that way, would be the obvious way for it to sit, would it not? I'm going to check with the other fork. Give me a second. So I forgot to film that, but what I did was I just literally oiled the inside of that seal and the outside, put it on the end and just slid it down really carefully and lubing it up every now and then because it's obviously a little bit pitted there and there. So I just lubed it up every couple centimeters, put some lube, some fork oil, slid it right down. You can actually push it into the first stage of this gap. And then I've got my pipe hose clamped, and I'm just gonna very carefully, actually no, I'm gonna redo this part. Right, so what I've done is I've put the smaller one on the inside, which is in turn spaced the outer one out a little bit, which means that it'll push on the outer edge of this seal rather than pushing on the inside, which is just a little weaker. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it about here on the fork leg, tighten her up, and then we're just going to ram it down. Alright, boom. After much fumbling, I got it to go all the way in. Right, now we can get our buddy clip, and we can push this all the way down, and we can push this in. So it goes to the back of the clip first, open end, back end, and push that in into its little clip hole in the sides, and then we're just going to click it in. Actually, pretty well clips itself in there. So there we go. Clips in there. Boom. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to put oil in and like measure the oil level. So to do that, what I've done, fork leg all the way down, no spring or anything in it. I put the tape measure in, and I measured from where the tape measure bottoms out to the very top, which is 310 millimeters. This fork calls for 110 millimeters of 10 weight fluid. So basically, I want 110 in here, which would leave 200 of space between the top and the top of the oil. It's quite easy to do. So to measure, I've filled it up. I know it's at the correct level because I've measured it already. Tape measure, it's 200 millimeters there. You put it in until it's 200 millimeters, like this. Pull it out, and if it's just touching the top of the oil, the end will be wet. If there's too much, you'll be able to see how much because it'll read on this, and then you can pour some out or top it up accordingly. So this fork's done. We're going to go ahead, and you know what, we'll just clamp it. We'll just put this in here. So we're going to get our Race Tech spring. You can see it's a Race Tech one because it's shorter. Pop him in. Okay. Gonna pull this all the way up like that. Now, because I want to mount these up, I'm just going to put this PVC spacer in, and the other one I'll just put this one in. It'll just be a little bit shorter until I can actually get these made up. So that goes in. Actually, no, it doesn't. Pardon me, it does not. The next thing to go on is actually this. This on top of the spring there. Make sure it's cleanish. Don't want any nasties in our fork. Alright, now see that's on there. Pull this up. Make sure that's still sitting on there. There you go. Boom. We get our cat. Do their cleanup. Alright, so if I stand back here, you should be able to see. Haven't rebuilt this one. I know it has oil in it and it doesn't leak. I'm just rebuilding them, because I'm rebuilding everything. This one has the stock spring. This one has the Race Tech spring. That one, don't have to put any effort into it. I can just push this one down with my arm. This one, way stiffer. Like this one, no effort. This one actually takes like a bit of shoulder to get pushing down. If I'm to put the same pressure into both of them, I can just tell this one's so much stiffer. So, where is it? Here we have the dust cap. I'm just going to clean this out real quick. I'll put that onto our fork. Like this. It actually requires like a little bit of effort to get on. There we go. And there you have it. Wipe this down. Give it a couple of squeezes, make sure it's not leaking. Not leaking at all. Of course, you know, Race Tech stickers. Would you look at that? Finally rebuilt. Kind of skewer, but that's fine. Finally rebuilt. Put these on the bike. I'll do the other one. I'll put these on the bike, and that'll conclude this video. So that's been how to rebuild forks by someone that doesn't know how to do it. So I think that went pretty well. It's not leaking. So I'll go do this other one now.